Hello and welcome back everybody to the Foodbuild factory, where today we're going to take a look at the plasma breather. That's the guy you can see on screen right now. And as always, I'm going to show you some gameplay in the first half of the video, and in the second half of the video we're going to take a look at the perks, mutations, equipment and everything else. So let's get right into it. What this character is going to be about is we are going to play as a medic. And to be more precise, the weapon we are going to utilize is a enclave plasma flamer, which is not the easiest weapon to come by. I'm pretty sure all of you know how it works, but just in case you don't, you can get the base enclave weapon from the enclave vendor, the modus vendor in the White Springs bunker, and it's kind of random which kind of weapon you get. And in terms of modifications, you can't learn them. You have to buy the mod boxes from one of the vendors around Watoga. And for especially the aligned plasma flamer, aligned enclave plasma flamer mod, is not the easiest one to get around. You really have to expect some server hops. Some people get obviously very lucky and find it on the first or fourth try or something. But for the most part, you will have to hop a lot of servers in order to get this modification. But once you have everything set and go, you can use legendary crafting in order to get legendary versions of this weapon. And yeah, it's really one of the hottest weapons right now. I mean, the hype around it has already been getting a bit lower lately. But yeah, you probably know that there are people who really manage to finish off endgame bosses in just a few seconds with certain versions of this weapon here, and that's why it's so popular. Now the thing is, I personally am not as big of a fan of this weapon as it's praised, because it has some glaring issues that people kind of overlook. Now, first and foremost, and probably the most obvious one, is ammo consumption. This thing can really burn through ammo super fast. Now, in addition to that, it really burns its condition rather fast. So don't expect to use this thing really for a really long time unless you have a really dedicated build with the addition of the legendary effect that makes this thing break slower. And lastly, it also chews through your action points really fast if you want to use it in vats. Now, the thing is, you can obviously use this thing outside of vats and be really effective still. But firstly, yeah, you're really more effective if you use it in vats, and in addition to that, you just burn through so much more ammo if you use this with aiming down sights or hipfire. So basically, while it is a very capable weapon, it has some downsides that are often not talked about, in my opinion. And on this occasion, I really wanted to see how substantially or how much you can get your ammo consumption down by really being very precise. And in addition to that, yeah, we have very fast AP refresh, like we really done a lot. Arguably, we went overkill here. I have 5 pieces of armor with AP refresh, so yeah, we are good to use this weapon in vats. As you can see there, our action points come back very fast, and in addition to that, yeah, as I said already, we are using a medic's weapon, but yeah, the other effects are inertial, meaning that when we kill an enemy, we do refresh 15 action points. I mean, that's a bit lost, it's not much to be honest. And in addition to that, we do have the less vats action point cost legendary effect. So overall, you can see that this weapon isn't in any way legendary in terms of boosting our our damage output. In terms of damage output, this is very much just a standard enclave plasma flamer, but you can see here we're still doing great damage. Now I will switch over to another weapon here, which I also utilize on this character, which is a medic's better vats crits and faster vats crits. Standard plasma rifle with the shotgun, with the beam splitter modification. I wanted to use that for the simple reason that we have an easier time crippling wings, but it wasn't necessary on this occasion, so I switched back to the enclave plasma flamer. And you saw once the scorched beast is on the ground, yeah, we're all said and done. By the way, a little side note, why I didn't pick up the legendary up the road. It's quite simple. I'm playing on custom worlds for the first time in one of my videos, and yeah, the only thing I changed basically is just free crafting. So that's it. I used the world in order to try out certain things before I really go for it uh, in the live version of the game. And in addition to that, yeah, for this video here, basically I crafted around 4,000 plasma cartridges in order to level up this character and play with it for a while. But I burned through them and was ready to do the video and didn't see any point in burning resources on the ammunition. Let's keep a check. We are around 2,500, just so we can have a little bit of a comparison by the end of the video. And yeah, that's all I did to the custom world. As I said, we're just having free crafting, so I don't have to bother spending resources on ammo. And I think for the rest of the video I'm going to use this weapon here because it's way more affordable. It's way easier to get your hands on. It's basically a standard plasma rifle with a beam splitter. And I actually wanted to make the character around this weapon here because it has some niche use. Like, I always wanted to make a build centered around the beam splitter modification for the plasma rifle because I find it's cool. It's kind of shotgun-like. But I always switched back to either a automatic or a flamer barrel or even a sniper barrel because yeah, you're really missing out on quite a lot of damage using this kind of barrel. It's just not good. It has one benefit though, and that is similar to how shotguns work very well with medics effects or with vampires effects. The same thing applies to this weapon here. Meaning that with every single projectile that we're shooting, I think it's 5 or 6 or so, we will get the medic's effect to trigger, obviously if we're doing a crit. So that means we can get a lot of healing from this weapon. With the plasma flamer we do have quite a lot of DPS, but really there are situations where we get burned, like where enemies can really wear us down. With this weapon here we are way tankier. The amount of healing we're getting from it is quite crazy. And what I like to do is use this weapon here as a day-to-day weapon and keep the plasma flamer for bosses. That synergizes very well because, as I said, condition of the plasma flamer is pretty trash. So if you really want to use it all of the time, you have to spend a lot of time repairing, and in addition to that you are burning through ammo really fast. So this here is the nicer option, and it only really works due to the fact that we have such fast AP refresh. As you can see there, just a few shots and we are out of AP. So we basically have to replenish our AP after most, just out of interest, I can't resist. Okay, it's a 1-star Fury Spear. Yeah, we have to basically replenish our AP after every single hit. Now this weapon isn't perfect for what we're doing here. It could be a little bit better if we had less VATS cost on it, not gonna lie. But overall still works great together. After all, medics and VATS crits is a good combination since you're trying to do as many VATS critical hits as possible, so might as well boost their damage. And to be fair, I really didn't think you couldn't main this weapon. Even when it comes to Scorch Beast or anything, it gets a bit tedious, but I can definitely see how you could run with this weapon for ever basically. It's actually a lot of fun. You really just have to have a ton of AP refresh. That's just the centerpiece of this build here. And as you can see, our standard shots are basically null, like they do nothing. We really live off the damage that comes from our criticals. But we can do them rather regularly. We do have critical savvy, which means, yeah, with our amount of luck, we do get a critical hit on every second hit, on every third hit anyways. But in addition to that, we do have a chance, and quite a good chance actually, to refill our critical meter in the meantime due to Fall Leaf Clubber, which works rather well with this weapon since, yet again, comparing it to shotguns, you have a chance to refill your critical meter with every single pellet you're shooting. And in VATS all of them hit, so overall it's quite effective. Not as effective as it would be with, as I said, a shotgun, but still, you're doing well. It's not a one-hit machine by any means, but yeah, it's nice. Sadly, we do have a ton of legendaries on this route, where usually we have maybe 1 or 2, but I think this was already the 4th. Yeah, it's a shame we're on a custom world, but it is how it is. I'm really not complaining about legendaries lately. Had some great drops, and yet another one. Pretty crazy. So overall, what you do is you do have to spend some time in between fights, reloading your, replenishing your action points, and you can use it to excessively reload your weapon. I mean, the magazine size or clip size, I have no clue how it's called on this occasion. Is great. Like 30 shots is nothing, so you can really kill quite a few enemies before you have to reload. But yeah, the thing is, since we have to spend time just being shot at every now and then, it's nice to have either a vampires version or a medics version here, just so we don't really have to care about that. I mean, as long as enemies don't kill us before we can shoot them again, we really don't have a problem. I mean, I obviously have to watch out on the enemies a little bit and play the game, but you just watching, you can have a little bit of a look to our on our HP bar and see that, yeah, I think we can replenish near half of our health with a single crit, which is nice. Now, one thing I really wanted to say about the medics effect, we are not a solo build on this occasion, but we're not really spec'd into team play either. The thing is, I value the medics effect higher for solo players than for teams, actually, because yeah, yesterday I played around a little bit with this here on a public server, and yeah, this was a bit unfortunate, but I'm not sure what went wrong here, to be honest. Back to the point I was making. Yeah, I was playing around a little bit on a public server and joined a daily ops team. And there I saw that really, yeah, the medics effect isn't all that great. I mean, on paper it's really cool. Like, the ability to heal your teammates is nice, but you really have to be very close to your teammates in order to actually heal them with your crits. And in addition to that, it oftentimes just seems to not work at all. I mean, that's a problem you can have when you're playing alone as well. But it's not as crazy. Like, it happens every now and then, but I really wouldn't consider it a problem. On a public team, actually, I think that, yeah, I saw it proc 1 or 2 times, and I really try to stick close to my teammates and everything. So, yeah, if you want to make a dedicated medic build that heals its team, you're more likely to benefit from stuff like the perks that make your Stimpaks heal your teammates. So, field medic, I think it is. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but overall on certain weapons I think that for tankiness the medics effect can be better than vampires actually, and this would be one of those weapons. Now, if we just say we have 5 projectiles, I'm pretty sure it is, maybe it's 6, but let's just say we have 5 projectiles here. If we were to use vampires with this weapon, that means we would heal, I think, 10 hit points per hit. Per successful hit, that is. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's 2 HP per hit with vampires, and we're hitting 5 times each. So, yeah. It's not a ton. I mean, we would arguably get it on every single shot, but yeah, with the medics effect, every second or third shot we do heal like 30% of our health. I think that's way more beneficial. As I said, I would love to have this weapon as a version with less vats cost. I mean, the one we're all having at the moment could be nice, because, yeah, I was tempted to go for the usual setup I use with weapons that have the faster vats crits legendary effect, which is that I want to boost my my luck up to 23, and yeah, just let's finish the build with the plasma flamer, just to show how capable it is. Really crazy. Yeah, I was really tempted to make a build where I had 23 luck and just get a crit on every second shot, but the thing is, in order to do that, I would have had to miss out on some of the AP refresh pieces, and yeah, getting slightly more crits actually wasn't worth the convenience cost in having faster AP refresh, because as I said in the beginning of the video, the fast action point refresh on this build is basically its core. It's the most important thing about it, in my opinion. You really start to struggle once you don't have that anymore, and funnily enough, I didn't remember I put my pay to win tent here. As you saw there, definitely there is a big difference between the two weapons when it comes to damage output. Yeah, the beam splitter is basically just your day-to-day weapon, and it's a good weapon for when you want to take it slow, want to be yeah, safer. With the flamer, you do run more of a risk. As you saw there, we're not having the same healing potential, even though we're firing very fast, than we have with the standard one. But both of the weapons have their place, and I think on this occasion it's really a nice combination. So yeah, that was it in terms of gameplay. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're not let down, because yeah, most of the times when we saw enclave flamers, they really were on min-maxed characters, really set up for a lot of damage, using buffs and so on. But I wanted to take a little bit more of a casual look at the weapon and see how much we can abuse the fact how good it is, if that makes sense. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and let's get into the details of the build. Not out of the server, actually. So starting with mutations, we do have bird bones, chameleon, eagle eyes, healing factor, herbivore, marsupial, and unstable isotope. Very straightforward here. Bird bones and eagle eyes, good for vats. More agility means more action points to burn, more crit damage, more perception, so all very beneficial. Chameleon is just a leftover from another build that we don't need here, but it doesn't have any downside to us, so why not? Then we do have healing factor, give or take. The thing is, we don't really need any chems on this character, so yeah, the downsides are negligible, but on the other hand, yeah, the health regen is also negligible. Thing is, use it or not on this occasion, I just didn't bother to remove it, but that's it. Then we do have herbivore. Eat veggies but no meat with no disease, and basically the only fact here is blight soup. Like, usually I do like to use stuff like corn soup, maybe just to increase my AP refresh a little bit more, but that's just not necessary on this occasion because we're already having such a fast action point refresh. So really boosting your critical damage with blight soup is the main benefit here. Then we have marsupial. Extra carry weight, extra jump height, rather straightforward. And lastly, we do have unstable isotope, a chance to irradiate melee attackers, which is just a leftover from another build. And yeah, doesn't have a downside to us, so I left it in there. And as you can see, probably we don't have Speed Demon. Would be nice to have it on this occasion, but I just didn't bother to include it because it wouldn't really alter the gameplay too much, and it was nice for once to not bother with it. Even though it would be pure beneficial to us. We're not trying to stay well fed or hydrated, so the downside is absolutely nothing for us. And yeah, faster reload speed especially could be nice, but both of the weapons aren't exactly ones that you have to reload all of the time, and I think we did all right there. So let's move on to our equipment. Firstly, let's take a look at the weapon. Here it is, the medics vats crits do more damage, and vats crits fill faster plasma rifle with the aligned splitter modification, precise stock, and the reflex sight and the vicious capacitor. Vicious capacitor gives us extra crit damage. Aligned splitter and precise stock and reflex sight all help us using less AP per shot. We're still consuming a lot though, as you saw during the video. And then we move over to our plasma flamer here. Medics, vats, less vats cost, and inertial. So really, in terms of ammo consumption, there's probably not a better setup here. You could do a little bit in terms of mods if you find the right one. An aligned stock would be perfect, but yeah, we already have the aligned flamer barrel. We do have a calibrated beta wave tuner, which is rather nice. Adds burning damage as far as I remember, and gives us better crit damage. So really not gonna complain here. And lastly, we do have a reflex sight, which you can't find as a mod for the weapon, as far as I know. You have to basically find the base weapon with the mod. So yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with this weapon here. I'm probably going to re-roll it a few times so I have a bloody version or an anti-armor one or so, just to brag about it and put it on Market 76 and then not reply to offers. So yeah, let's move on to our wait, let's see how much ammo we burned. It's actually okay. During the whole video, I would say we burned through like 400 to 500 shots, which is actually really manageable, I guess. And now let's take a look at our armor. We do have a Vanguard AP refresh combat chest piece, Vanguard AP refresh left arm, one right arm, one right leg from a Raider. Has Sentinel, but we're always sprinting around. And lastly, we have one weightless piece with action point refresh. So yeah, a decent armor set, not the greatest, but yeah, it's rather fitting. And I'm pretty sure when it comes to AP refresh, there are some diminishing returns at a certain point. I think it's 3 pieces of the powered pieces that makes it so you're starting to see those diminishing returns. But to be honest, I tried both combinations using 3 AP refresh pieces and using 5, and I still saw a difference there. It might not be as great as it is from no piece to 3 pieces, but I thought it was the better decision here to go with it. I really felt a little bit of a difference in gameplay, so I'm not regretting that. In terms of resistances, you can see we're rather doing well. Pretty tanky here. Obviously, we're losing out a lot of that when we're going down with our health, but that synergizes well with our medics effect because, yeah, we're trying to stay at reasonably high health all of the time with rather little effort. Yeah, we do have the Responder Fireman helmet, which is a rare drop. I got it from, I think, Lone Wolf, not Lone Wolf, leader of the pack. And yeah, I didn't want to use the Responder Fireman outfit. I rather went with the Valorous Alistair suit that we got from the scoreboard, which is really synergizes very well in terms of looks, I guess, which is a fancy way of saying I don't have the Responder Fireman outfit, but I think it works together rather nice. And now let's take a look at our perks. In terms of strength, we do have rank 3 of strength with rank 3 of traveling pharmacy, so we can carry a lot of stim packs and so on. We don't really need them, especially on this build, so you could live without it. On the other side, you're quickly starting to stack up stim packs and so on. So if you don't want to sell all of them or transfer them to another character, it's not the worst decision to just keep traveling pharmacy here. Then we do have perception at 12, which is rather low for a rifleman build, but we're at pretty close ranges most of the time. And yeah, we don't need a maxed out perception on this occasion. I went with all rank 2 of rifleman, rank 3 of tank killer, and rank 3 of concentrated fire. So yet again, ground powder could be interesting, but since one of our main weapons has 300 rounds in the magazine and the other has 30, I just thought the reload wasn't too much of a problem on this character here. After all, we're spending a lot of time where we can't shoot or won't really fight anyways, due to the fact that we are reloading AP, refreshing AP, and in that time we can reload. The amount of damage we take in the meanwhile isn't really necessary or isn't really concerning because we're just heating that off rather quickly. Tank killer for more armor penetration, obviously. Concentrated fire on a semi-automatic weapon, which the plasma flamer actually is, according to the game. I mean, yeah, works rather well, so that really helps getting precise shots rather fast. And yeah, rank 2 of all the rifleman perks was enough in my opinion. Then we do have endurance at 6. We do have fireproof and adamantium skeleton, so 6 endurance isn't much, but we do have the necessary stuff here. Adamantium skeleton, so none of our limbs get crippled because we couldn't heal that with the medics effect. We would need stimpaks for that, and if we have to take a stimpak every 20 seconds or so during a fight in order to heal our limbs, we might as well not bother keeping our health up with medics as well. So yeah, that's why adamantium skeleton is here, and fireproof is just a good pick overall. Then we do have Charisma at 4. You can see there, rank 3 of Tenderizer. The only thing I would add here is Strange Numbers, just to boost the effectiveness of our mutations a little bit. Since I was not going to record this video in a team either way though, I decided not to bother using my level up. I mean, we can do it real quick here, it doesn't have any consequence anyways. So you can see the fully envisioned build. Where is it? Strange Numbers here. Big difference. Okay, Tenderizer, rather obvious pick here. Fast firing weapons, even if we're using our beam splitter, we're not going to take down enemies in a single shot, so we're pretty much always getting effect of this weapon on every single enemy, so, of this perk. 10% multiplicative damage, really good. Then we do have Intelligence, batteries included in Gunsmith. Both picks rather mandatory in my opinion. Plasma cartridges can really weigh you down. Gunsmith, as I said, the condition, I mean on the plasma splitter, it's okay, not the greatest, but not the worst. On the plasma flamer, I really struggled without Gunsmith. I even struggled with it. So, I mean, one thing to keep in mind is, in terms of modifications, I'm not having the best ones. Like, you could get lucky and have better modifications so that you have more condition, something like a bruising stock or something like that, but yeah, unless you have that, you probably want to have Gunsmith here so your weapon doesn't break so fast. Then we go over to Agility, which is obviously maxed out. We do have Action Boy maxed out, 1 rank of Born Survivor just in case. Then we do have rank 3 of Gun Fu, which is just nice since we're always using VATS. Doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, it's really beneficial. We do have rank 3 of White Knight, just because we're always shot at, so I don't want to bother to repair my armor every now and then. And lastly, we do have Adrenaline. Not a lot to say about Adrenaline, just a good perk overall. Gives us more damage in most situations. You rarely fight less than 5 enemies in this game, and if you do, it's mostly rather weak enemies. So yeah, Adrenaline, good pick as always. And then we have Luck at 15 with Grim Reaper Sprint, very important here, really saves our ass oftentimes and just makes the gameplay more fluent. Now, we can replenish APs very, very fast. I know it's getting old at this point, but yeah, not having to wait for those 3 to 5 seconds still is nice if it happens. We're not relying on it, but it just makes it more fluent to play the game with Grim Reaper Sprint. Then we do have Better Criticals, Starch Genes, and Critical Savvy. Critical Savvy and Better Criticals, very obvious. On most VATS builds, unless you have very specified stuff like maybe a shotgunner or so, I would never recommend not using this combination. I mean, Better Criticals is obvious. More damage with crits, since we're trying to do as many as we can, is obvious. And yeah, Critical Savvy, it's just overall the best perk in order to maximize your critical output. Then we do have Starch Genes, we just have to take it. As you know, you want to keep your mutations, not get any new ones, so might as well have it. And then we do have rank 1 of Fall Leaf Clover. As I said, we have a good chance of proccing this effect due to the with our main weapon, the Beam Splitter, Plasma Flamer, no, Beam Splitter, Plasma Gun, Rifle, whatever. Multiple Projectile, Gooey McGibble. Yeah. Just rank 1, we had 1 perk left, and I thought I'd throw it in there. And then we do have Tormentor. So another combination I ran with was rank 3 of Four Leaf Clover and rank 1 of Class Freak. Works nice. I just wanted to have Tormentor here in case the if the Scorch Beast didn't want to land, so we can cripple its limbs, which works rather well with the Plasma Flamer with the Beam Splitter modification, because yeah, yet again, similar to shotguns, multiple projectiles, all of them have a chance to cripple. Not as effective as Enforcer and shotguns, but still rather working well. And yeah, that leaves us with legendary perks. As so often, a lot of boring ones, just increasing our my overall perks, amount of perks I can take. That I mean, legendary perception, intelligence, endurance, agility, and luck. So yeah, the only interesting thing here is what rats and what rats is not interesting also. So in terms of legendary effects, yeah, we're rather chill on this occasion. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the build, guys. I certainly had a lot of fun with it. I think it has a lot of potential. Obviously, you can go way better if you're just going for more of a um, damage approach, just using another weapon, for example. But yeah, I found the premise of a medic quite nice here, and also rather fitting when we're going for a little bit of this responder fire breather vibe. So yeah, I'm not so happy with the thumbnail now that I see it. Oh, it's actually a bit too wide, but whatever. See you next time. Bye.